But anyway, yeah, this morning I watched Nosferatu.
Oh, very nice. And go for it. What did you think about Nosferatu?
Uh, it was a nice slow burn. Of course, it pales compared to Francis Ford Dracula,
Yeah,
but
but I mean, they're very different
yeah,
movies
apples
with
and
very
oranges.
different goals. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
but I love the themes of infatuation. Uh, it had like many menacing themes, not themes, but moments. Like the plague ship reaching shore.
Mm,
Fucking Bill Skarsgård
yeah.
again playing a monster. What this? He must have had a busy year. I mean, between The Crow, which sucked ass, uh, and The Boy
I didn't
Kills
see that
World.
one, but I've heard or read enough interviews and with cast and crew and read reviews and stuff like that. I feel well enough informed about The Crow so that I'm not gonna watch this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, to me, that remake is a slap in the face.
yeah.
Oh boy, it's kind of like you're pissing on Brandon Lee's legacy, even though The Crow is an adaptation of a graphic novel by James O'Barr, who signed off on this remake because obviously he needs the money, and I get that. But from what I watched, like that was a waste of my what 90 minutes and a few, well, okay, 110 minutes, whatever. It was garbage, hot garbage.
Yeah.
Alex Proyas was right, that movie should have never been made. But Hollywood gonna Hollywood. I know you haven't seen The Crow, so the original
Yeah,
one, 1994. It's a cult classic.
I
I
will catch
actually,
up with it eventually. I got it here. But just so many other movies I'm more interested in. So
it's definitely deserving of its praise. I mean, I bought
yeah.
the 4K Blu-ray recently, and I'm looking at it. It's standing up on my shelf right next to my Funko Pop of Eric Draven. So classic,
Yeah.
But oh, back to Nosferatu.
Yes.
Again, I love the color palette, the overall gothic look. And I'm
Mhm.
saying to myself, Robert Eggers would have been a great director if he handled the adaptation of Bloodborne.
Oh yes. Oh
Yeah,
that's a fantastic take. Yeah, agreed.
yes,
Yeah.
definitely. And in
Wow, that
March,
would be. Oh man, now you put this bug in my brain. Now I
yeah,
want this to happen.
yeah, if I knew about that fucking, what is it with the AI, how you could make these
Yeah, yeah.
videos, I would do Robert Eggers Bloodborne.
Oh, yeah, at least, someone should do a fake trailer or something. Yeah,
Yeah,
just to
yeah, those
enjoy this
trailers.
idea for a bit. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's still getting work and he's in Nosferatu. So
Yes,
it's
yes.
it
Even though I found him somewhat annoying in Nosferatu,
yeah,
I
he
don't
was.
think he was his performance didn't quite tonally, gel with the rest for me,
Now
very
compared to
subjectively.
Nicholas Holt and
Yeah,
what's
yeah,
her name? Depp. Oh,
yeah.
Lily
Lily
Rose Depp.
Rose Depp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she was great in it as
Oh
well.
yeah.
And like
And
I said,
Defoe, great as always.
yeah, the movie had a slow burn, but at the same time, you could be immersed in the story. The pacing was a little bit off, but again, the big payoff was at during the third act, you know, and it's kind of like a film of seduction, you know,
Yeah.
with Count
Mm,
Orlok, just being fixated on her, and of course, there's that tragic end that came out of nowhere, that little twist. But they turned it around. Of course, the great Willem Dafoe. And I thought he was going to be like Anthony Hopkins' character from Dracula.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
and
I mean, he kind of was. He does
yeah,
play the same
yeah.
character more or less, even
Harker,
if
Harker.
he's got a
Yeah,
different
Harker.
name. Van Helsing. And um, some people found Defoe too comical in the movie, but I Yeah, no, I liked what he did.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Defoe, he practically sells practically every movie that he's been in. And recently, it was some kind of, I guess it was an interviewer who was interviewing people on the street, and he was like, "Excuse me, sir. Hi, I'm talking about such and such, and who are you, and what do you do?" And he was like, Willem Dafoe. He said, "Yeah, what do you do for a living?" He said, "I'm an actor." And he said, "An actor? What have you been in?" This fucking idiot. Yeah. No, I haven't been in many movies, just Platoon, Spider-Man, Mississippi Burning, Poor Things, which won an Oscar. Yeah, and I'm just a little actor, Boondock Saint, American Psycho. Yeah, I haven't been in many
But
films.
I would
So,
think that Defoe enjoyed that.
yeah, I mean, Defoe, he was kind of like a little taken aback, like this guy doesn't know who I am. Not that he had an ego complex, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he has, which
no,
makes
oh
him
no,
more sympathetic.
he's a cool guy.
Yeah.
And like I told Trish, I said he deserved the Oscar for Platoon more than Tom Berenger, but Berenger beat him out because his character Barnes was a scumbag, and
Yeah.
they kind of, and I kind of get it in a way, but I love the idea of Defoe's character being like the conscientious objector in Platoon. I don't know if you ever saw it, but
Yeah, it's great.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great movie,
Yeah.
great fucking movie, very haunting.
Yeah.
War,
It's really
especially
good.
the Vietnam War, was it was no joke. I mean, yeah, you could glamorize World War II, let's kill the Nazis, all that other
Yeah.
Dirty Dozen or whatever, but Platoon, that shit was deep because my
Hmm.
uncle served in Vietnam and he told us as kids, some of the horror stories, and he was addicted to heroin.
Oh,
And
but at least he was able to talk about it at all. That's
yeah,
not the
before
case
he
for
died.
other people. Yeah, yeah, okay.
And of all things, you come back to America, you survive the war, you get killed by a drug pusher.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. So yeah, the irony of it all,
Hmm.
But again, like yeah, Defoe, he did his part in Nosferatu. Um, and again, Bill Skarsgård. When I looked at him as Count Orlok, he has like the mustache of Dr. Robotnik from Sonic the Hedgehog. And
All
he
right.
also
Yeah, yeah.
and at the same time he resembles what's his name? Bitoris Mendez from Resident Evil 4. I don't know
I
if
don't know that yet.
that's Resident Evil 4. If you never played that game, oh my
No,
god.
I have the remake on Steam.
Yeah, the
I haven't
remake,
played it
yeah,
yet.
whether it's the remake or the original, Resident Evil 4 is a masterpiece. Yeah, it's
Right. I want to play it in the next few months. Yeah.
yes, you should because January marks its 20th anniversary. It was the only reason why I got a fucking GameCube at the time. Well, actually, it was my daughter who gave me her GameCube, and I played the hell out of it. That's what put Resident Evil back on the map because of that very fucking game. It was great. It still is. The remake is even better. There's some parts that scared the shit out of me that, oh, I didn't expect this. But
Ah.
yeah.
I was thinking whether I should play the original first and the remake afterwards, but then I was thinking maybe playing the remake would suffice.
Yeah, play the remake because you know what? The control schemes are
Oh
definitely
yeah.
improved from
Yeah.
the original. But after you beat the remake, you could go back to see, how far Capcom and the developers have progressed,
Yeah.
with
Hmm.
with their ideas and machinations. But Resident Evil 4, ooh, man, I gotta play that again. It's just I got so many games, especially games that I bought for cheap on sale, whether it's Steam or Xbox or even PlayStation 5.
Hello.
Hey, and we're back.
Yay.
Well, yeah,
Um, yeah, you
go
go.
ahead. I was going to say Nosferatu. Overall, I say it's one of the best, if not unappreciated, horror films of 2024.
Oh yeah, definitely. Underappreciated, I don't know. It was pretty successful.
Yeah, well, some people complained about it, like in the reviews. So.
Oh yeah, of course. But overall, it was financially successful, and most of the critics and I guess in the forums and the comments and such, people are pretty much into Robert Eggers at this point,
Yeah.
which I like. I like hearing
Yeah,
that.
because I know you're a fan. You kept telling me to
Absolutely,
watch
yeah,
The Lighthouse.
And I still think The Lighthouse is his best. I don't think Nosferatu is better than that, but it's a great movie.
Well,
And so one or two more things about Nosferatu. How did you like the design of the vampire? Because I mean, it's its own thing, you know. The original Max Schreck Nosferatu from the 1920s, he was more like he almost had like an insect-like quality to him. He was very otherworldly and very like a weird undead predator,
ghoulish.
ghoulish bat like a Batman of sorts, so to speak. Yeah, that he was one thing, right? And then we had Werner Herzog's Nosferatu, of course, from the 70s, and Klaus Kinski played Nosferatu, Count Orlok in that, and he was much more human, and very much a tragic character in the end, who suffers from his own immortality and lack of love, or lack of the experience of love. And that was more like, you know, he inspired more pity in the viewer than horror, I guess. And then you got the Gary Oldman Dracula character from Coppola in the 90s, who was very flamboyant and, you know,
Charismatic.
very charismatic, and I think he is probably the closest to Eggers and Bill Skarsgård, and their take on the Count, because he also had this aesthetics of the Transylvanian nobleman, right?
Yeah.
The mustache, most
Yeah.
of all the mustache. We are not used to vampires with mustaches.
No. But the
And
Oldman's Dracula is so fucking cool. I mean, he had the round glasses, the fucking top hat. He
the
was,
top hat. Yeah.
He had various. I mean, the wardrobe, you know, designer should be praised because, of course, in the beginning he has this armor the holy armor, red armor I'd never seen before. It looks like a insect, you know, skin, like carapace, but then he goes through, you know, various stages where he's, you know, in this long gown with the hair pinned up, and
where he's the old guy, withered, and
old
you know,
guy, that's what I'm saying, with his hair pinned up and everything like that through many stages.
And then you see the suave Gothic gentleman. And now, but Robert Eggers is adding another facet to it by going back to the original vampire myths of just being walking corpses, not these sparkling, you know, Twilight vampires.
Oh no, that's a horrible Twilight.
And the thing that I really like about the new design from Eggers is he looks like a corpse. He looks awful. Just the flesh peeling off, and you know,
decomposed.
Decompose, exactly.
And very menacing looking.
And on the other hand, he has this very masculine, you know, the mustache and the voice. And his piercing eyes, the piercing eyes,
and his voice, which I did like a mini review. I'm gonna publish it tomorrow. That his voice sounds like, I don't know if you heard of this children's show, Captain Scarlet and the Mysterons.
No.
Now it's by Jerry Anderson. It's a British show. It's a classic. It's like, for a children's show back in the 60s, it's extremely violent. You know, you see people die of car crashes, explosions. That's what Team America was inspired by in some ways.
Mhm.
But whenever someone gets killed, you hear this overlapping narration of the aliens, the Mysterons. This is the voice of the Mysterons. You will pay for what you have done to our planet. And that's how, Count Orlok sounds. Sit, eat,
Yeah,
give
well,
me the contract.
get to that chopper. But I think there was more melody to it.
Yeah.
The way Bill Skarsgård spoke was, almost had kind of like a poetry to it. Not just the choice of words, also like the melodic way he was speaking, while sounding very otherworldly and deep and threatening. They're just overall very, interesting creative choices and aesthetic choices. I like that. And also, it's also in terms of storytelling a variation on the previous Dracula stories, because in the Gary Oldman version, it's of course that he believes her to be the reincarnation of his dead wife, right?
Yes, which I don't know if that idea was used like over 50 years ago in the movie called Blackula, because
Oh,
oh yeah, this
yeah.
blaxploitation movie, and
I haven't seen it, but
oh man,
maybe I should catch up with it. I
it's a
heard about it
filthy
oftentimes. Yeah,
classic.
yeah.
I mean, people laugh at it because it's a blaxploitation film, but it hits heavy because part of the film is like, okay, this Count Mamawaldi, he wanted to end the slave trade, and Dracula, he was like, no, slavery has its merit. He's all posh
Ooh.
and unapologetic about it. And then, a fight ensues and he curses, the Count, and say, I shall name you Blackula. And when his wife is left to die, so he comes back in the 70s and he sees this woman played by the same actress, Vanetta McGee. She is like the reincarnation of his wife, Aluva. So there is that correlation between fucking Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula and Blackula.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
And
Blackula came first.
yeah, Blackula came first in 1972.
Yeah.
And it is a tragic love story, just like Coppola's Dracula. And it went over a lot of people's head. They probably never heard of Blackula. Except for people like Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, sure.
And the black demographic.
Yeah.
Like back Gen Xers and baby boomers. But there, it's when people will watch, through the lens of someone who's seen Blackula, it's like, oh, this shit is in some ways it ripped off Blackula's, theme, like that ill-fated romance, and of course he
This
came.
that's the reincarnation thing is not from the Bram Stoker novel, isn't it?
I
Gogo
don't
would
think so.
know,
Not that
but
I know
yeah,
of. Not
yeah,
that
yeah,
if
yeah.
so, then you know what, that throws out my theory. But as
No,
far
I don't think it is. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, as
It
far as
it
I
might
know,
be. I would be interested in that. So the romantic angle, the reincarnation angle, might be originating with Blackula then.
yes, I want you
Yeah,
to watch Blackula.
yeah, I
I mean,
should.
yeah, there's some parts, because it was the 70s, mind you, that may be offensive or just out there. But if you look at the film through its natural context, you'll say, oh, there was an interesting, love story there. And it was very progressive without the usual stereotypical tropes that came from
Yeah,
blaxploitation films.
but I will always watch films and grade them on their own terms, definitely,
Yes,
in
that's
their own context.
that's the best way to do it. Grade them,
Yeah,
even those that are politically incorrect or offensive. I mean, it
yeah, yeah.
was the sign of those times. You
I
can't.
mean, I'm always like, when I see something that you know, sometimes I would, if we were speaking in ratings like that, how many points out of 10? Sometimes I would give 8 out of 10 to a movie and then to another one as well, which I like way better personally. But I saw the other movie for what it was, like an achievement in what it wanted to do and achieve and within its context. And
Yeah.
I can always appreciate that, whether it resonates with me personally or not. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you
I,
can't.
I think Blackula might be very interesting. I will have to look where I can find it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely find it on the net. I mean, and also streaming
Yeah.
services, as well. I don't
Yeah.
think it's available on. It used to be available on DVD, which I got my copy, and
Yeah. Well,
but
I will just quickly have a look whether it's on Amazon.
yeah, it could be on
Why
Amazon.
not?
I mean, it's funny because Amazon Prime Video, I think around this time, near Black History Month, they would stream Blackula, Foxy Brown, those
Yeah.
blaxploitation films, stream it for free, especially if you're a subscriber, you get shit for free. But
Oh, look at that. Here's a UK import Blu-ray for around $15, which is perfectly fine. And that's a collection of Blackula and Scream Blackula Scream. It's a sequel, I
Oh,
guess.
damn, that's a good hit. I mean, yeah, the sequel, Scream Blackula Scream, I mean, it paled in comparison to the first one, but I mean, it has some interesting scenes like well, I don't want to really spoil it, but it's like a small scene where he's being accosted by, these two brothers because, he wearing a long cape because he's the count, and they calling him a faggot and everything like that. And he said, yeah, and because that great William Marshall who plays Blackula, bless his soul, he he says, why, after all, he said, after all, because he's very erudite. He says, after all these centuries and years, why is it that we still mistreat our sisters? Like mistreat, because I guess they were pimps or whatever.
Yeah.
And, and of course they try to attack him and things don't turn out well for them. So,
Yeah, I will catch up with that.
yeah, so,
I will look on the web, and if I can't find a download that works for me, I will just purchase the Blu-ray.
yeah. And judge for yourself.
Yeah.
And of
Yeah.
course, the noteworthy comparisons between Francis Ford. And you know what? With Hollywood making all these revivals and sequels and legacy sequels, I hope they don't do a revival. I mean, no, they can't do a revival. I hope they don't do a reboot of Blackula. Leave it as it is, buried within that era. Because Hollywood has a habit of rebooting and requeling and legacy sequeling every fucking movie that comes out nowadays.
Yeah.
That's going to be a future topic.
Indeed. Yeah. The regurgitation of content. It's entering its terminal phase.
Yeah, they're rebooting nostalgia.
Yeah. Yeah. It's awful, which is why I hated Alien Romulus.
Which one?
Alien Romulus.
Oh
I
yeah, I know.
hated
We
that
made
one.
fun of that because you had me laughing when you
Oh
quoted
man.
his line. You said the cringe, the biggest cringe line. Get away from her, you bitch.
And he poses it like a question. You bitch?
Like a you bitch. You
Yeah.
bitch. Like
Whether
an
he
in
is
joke.
unsure whether bitch is the correct term here, or maybe you should call her a whore. I don't know.
No,
Oh man, I hate that movie with a passion.
he should have. Yeah,
There's one
and being
movie
that he's
that is
black, you get away from you fucking bitch, you hoe bitch. No, stop. That's a stereotype. But yeah, I thought some parts of Romulus
Yeah.
was entertaining, but there was no need for it. Everybody like bought into it. It was praised, I guess in terms of hyperbole. That's why
Yeah, but people really liked that one. So many people came out of it and were like, "Yeah, the Ian Holm thing is a bit too much," but other than that, the
was
movie was good.
ridiculous.
I mean, that was just the icing on the cake, on the shit cake.
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
Did he use his line again? You have my sympathies.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, callbacks.
Oh, that fucking movie. And
then
Alvarez,
thank you.
And I was putting my hopes in that guy because his previous two movies were actually really good. Yeah, Evil Dead and Don't Breathe.
Yeah,
Don't
the first
Breathe
one, of course.
Yeah. The second one was I felt I needed to shower after that. Oh man, that was awful.
They made a rapist into a superhero.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no!
That was terrible. But anyway,